Welcome everybody, it's WildWest Stacker. I hope you're having a wonderful day and you are on the Saturday morning premiere train. And today I'm going to be showing you all of my junk silver. We're going to be talking about that constitutional, that 90%, whatever you call it. So sit back and enjoy. Now everybody, let's just start real quick by having to show off my cool little knife here. This is that Demco 80-20.5, and I only did one little upgrade. You see this little thumb stud right here? I decided to get a titanium one. Yes, you can see it's anodized blue, kind of like the titanium clip I put on. Pretty sweet, I like it. It has a little better feel, and it just adds a little customization to it. Now, when I ordered that, I ordered a couple little things, and look, they sent me a free. Now it looks like a 12 gauge shotgun shell, right? Winchester. And if you go around to this other side, there's a thumb stud. And look at that, it's a little baby knife. It is so dull. I guess it makes a couple little scratches on my fingernail, but it definitely needs a sharpening. It's super dull. There's not even a lock on it. They call this a slip joint. So you just open it and it just closes. So kind of dangerous. Maybe that's why they didn't sharpen it too much, but just a fun little toy. All right, so let's just start talking about this awesome stuff we have here. 90% silver, constitutional. In fact, why is it even called constitutional? And really, that's probably the first thing we should talk about is all this old silver. We call it constitutional because in the Constitution, it says all debts should only be paid with gold or silver. It's that simple. Any debt between any man should only be paid with gold and silver. It makes sense. It's very simple, but here we are, and that amendment has been amended, and now we have all sorts of weirdness. Like we don't even have copper like this anymore in our coins. They're now using all sorts of weird metals that I've never even heard of. You put it in vinegar, they'll even disintegrate. So crazy world we're living in, but even this copper stuff anymore was actually never part of our constitutional agreement to pay all debts, which was silver. Let's see here. So I have only a couple of silver dollars. I'm really not a big collector of these, and it's mainly because they're expensive. So I only pick them up when they're really cheap, like the Morgan here and this piece dollar I just got in Florida for $28 a piece. You can see there's a little markup there. Maybe that's why it was in the coal section, but it is an O. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I got a little bit. I only have like one in a little flip here. And 21, looks like that one is an S. So I'm not huge on the silver dollars, obviously. I wish I had a lot more. Instead, I was actually stacking these. And while this isn't considered 90% or constitutional, this is an American coin that is pure silver. And so these are some of the only silver you can buy and not get taxed on in like Florida. You could buy peace dollars, you could buy Morgans, or like you can do what I did down in Florida. I was buying a bunch of Merc dimes down there, and there's no tax as long as it's under $500. I live in Wyoming, so I don't really have to play by those rules, but it was interesting to travel to another state and see how that all works. And so like here's my other Merc dimes I'm working on. So here, these 4 tubes are full, and I've got to fill up this guy. But before I do that, I'm actually working on a Mercury dime album. Isn't that kind of cool? And this is just one of the inexpensive albums. There's no plastic cover. I mean, I've noticed if you have a really small coin, like right here, maybe the rim doesn't fit, they can fall out. But it's still a really fun thing I'm working on, so I'll go through. I got a lot of older ones in this new stack, and you know, it's something to do. But one thing about that is, what do they call it? The Mercury dime. Interesting, right? So let's just talk about that, and I actually have a really clean Mercury dime we can look at. Here we go. And one thing that everybody gets confused on the Merc dimes is that actually the Mercury? So that's a 43, and this is a D. And if you notice, you see the wings up here? Those wings are supposed to represent the freedom of thought. And so I believe this was actually called the Winged Liberty Cap, or Winged Liberty Cap, however you say that. And then people notice that it looks a lot like the Mercury. statue, but the wings are in a little bit different place. I believe on the Mercury, the wings go straight up, and these ones go back to represent freedom of thought. So kind of interesting that. Oh, let's just talk about the back though. This is my favorite part. So I know I'm a big fan of knives, all sorts of fun stuff like that. Look at this. There's a weapon on the back of this Mercury dime. And this one actually has full bands right in the middle of the weapon there. And this, if I remember right, is called a fasces. It's a giant axe, and it is coated with these like thick pieces of wood that surround it. And whenever like the Romans were traveling to other countries, cities, whatever, they would have a whole guard carrying these, which represented the power of the nation. And I mean, you literally could kill people with these too. They were very deadly, because these things were probably about 10 feet long. These, crazy, huh? So this was a little necklace I picked up for Mrs. Wild West. I thought it was cool. It's toning a little bit. Let's just keep going down the Merc dime path here. And I want to show off something really cool. Now these were given to Mrs. Wild West from her mom. And I'm just leaving them the way they are. I'm not cleaning them up unless I find some way to do it really good, because look at that. Isn't that cool? So there's 2 earrings. Looks like that one's a 44. Let's see what the other one is here. 43 on the other one. Okay, so they cut them out. They've definitely got some toning. They don't even have the rimmed edge anymore. And look at the back. Whoa, kind of crazy, huh? Something fun. And let's just show off proof Merc dimes. And yes, folks, did you know there are proof Merc dimes? Well, actually, there are proof Merc dimes. I don't have any because they're pretty expensive, but I found these on eBay, and they are a legal tender coin. You can see that 1916 to 2016. You got the proof-like finish there. And look at that. It is a Cook Islands copy. So they have to put copy on there because this is the same size. I believe the weight is different because it is pure silver. You can see the double bands there. Look, it even flips the right way. Isn't that cool? Because most coins with the queen on them are going to flip this way. But nope, they stuck to our tradition, which is pretty sweet. So these are kind of a, what do you call it? A remembrance. I know they did a gold one in 2016, but that was done by the US Mint. And those coins are going for quite a bit. Very popular. So there you go. It's got some proof Merc dimes. They are legal tender, but remember, not in the United States. So a little different there. All right, let's just move on to my next conundrum, and that is this thing. Look at this. So Mrs. Wild West got a whole bunch of quarters from the coin shop, and they came in a big flip. We took them out of the flip, and every single one of them is in these little flips, but they're not like BU condition. I mean, these look like they've been circulated. I guess they are pretty good condition, but they don't look BU to me. So what would you guys do? Would you take them out? Would you leave them in? I don't know. They take up a lot of space though, so I'm really tempted to just take them out. Looks like a lot of these are Ds too. Yep, you can see the D on the bottom there. But they're all 64s. So I don't know what to do with this whole stack of flips, but they kind of add up. I mean, here's another one that I like just because Capital Currency wrote on it. It's a 51 D. But what I've been doing when I pick up my quarters is I usually just grab them like however they hand them out at the coin shop. So just a mix. There might be some BU ones in here, but usually there's some older. Look at that, 51. That one's pretty clean. It's probably a 64. Yeah, 64. So just a mix, and I don't know. Maybe I'll do this with all these flips. Let me know. What would you guys do? Because I'm trying to save space, and these little flips take up quite a bit. All right. Now, oh, geez, do I have more of these? Yep, more. Ugh, too many of these flips going on. All right, let's move on to some $50. And let's see here. I don't have a lot of $50, guys. Mainly because the premiums on the $50 is usually more than like the quarters or the dimes. So I've got a few. You know, you got the Walker, the Benjamin Franklin. There's a Kennedy in there, but I really don't have a lot of these. Look at just a little stack. Not a whole lot. Yeah. I guess if I can get them at a better price, I might start picking them up, but if the price is not right, then don't stack it. It's that simple. Now, I do have one really cool $50 though that I do want to show off. I got this one for myself, but I really haven't used it. So this is a 1943, and it is a D. And I got that so it matched Mrs. Wild West. She has, remember, the 43 Merc time. And hers is a D as well. So they're both really good condition. She has the full bands on hers. And then on the reverse of mine, look at this. This is such good condition. I was shocked. Look at that. It's a D. Good feathers on there. Even the beak and the talons look really good on it. It's got like a reeded edge on this. So something cool. Hasn't really toned much, but that's probably because I'm keeping it inside of a little baggie. All right. Let's get to some fun stuff. Some of the older coins. Like, yeah, the Indian head. Obviously, that one's not silver, but it is a 1 cent fun piece. And the Barber dimes. It's a 1914. Actually, that one's in pretty good shape. And it is a D, too. Cool. So got a few of those, not a lot. Remember, these are more collectors. Some of these I actually did myself. You could see I screwed this one up. This was a penny I just found in random change. It looked really clean though, doesn't it? For a 43 D? Yeah, so I stapled it, I screwed it up, whatever. Then we got 1 quarter. It's an 1854, so that's a seated Liberty quarter. And there's the eagle that some people say looks like a chicken. It says $quarter. Pretty cool. I really like these older ones. I wish they were less expensive so I could stack those, but for now it's just occasionally here and there. And then when I was out east, Mrs. Wild West stopped. Oh yeah, this is the Monticello. She actually picked up some of these coins right from there. And they did a really good job on the handwriting. Like this one is the silver US 3 cent, the Trime, 1851 to 1873. There's a star on the back, and I think it says, is it a 52? You really can't read it. It's just too hard. Still a fun piece, though. And then that one is the Pieces of 8. This is 1816. It was U.S. legal tender, and they were often in 12.5 cent increments. It's a really cool little writing they did there. There's the face. And the last one, a silver half dime. 1857. Really cool, huh? Oh, come on. That one looks like Philadelphia. I don't see any mint marks anywhere on it. All right, so I don't really have a whole lot more, guys. I mean, I am doing a little bit of this silver, and I don't know whether to call this junk or constitutional. I guess I'll just call it 90%. These are 90% silver, the Wyoming proof ones. Really cool. But then you go to these, and I thought these were 90%, and turns out these are actually pure silver. In 2019, all the quarters, and even, where's it at? This guy right here. Even this guy, 2019, the $50 went to pure silver, 999. So that's something different. Crazy, huh? Okay, well, I hope everybody had fun. We checked out some sweet silver. We fixed my awesome Big Red pour here. In fact, I got to show it off again because Big Red's so awesome. Look at that. The Wolf pour with the Coda 2022 on it. Thank you so much, Big Red. You the man. Love it, bud. All right, everybody. Well, it's my time is up, so make sure you click the link in the chat. We're moving on. Thank you so much. This is Wild West saying everybody have a good one.